Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I hope you're doing well. We wanted to update you and let you know that today is June 2nd, one of the two Minneapolis Park Board meetings. Few of us will be speaking to the Minneapolis Park Board specifically in support of the Salaam Mosque. The Salaam Mosque is a mosque located in Northeast Minneapolis. It's a mosque that for 4 years have been asking to help with a safe drop-off parking for the children that attend the mosque, since the park board owns the entire property around the mosque outside of a home. And the only option right now for children to be dropped off is on a busy central avenue. So we've been asking for them to possibly find a solution. Unfortunately, the park board has refused. There is a resolution or a request to be added the agenda item specifically to just offer the same safe drop-off zones that the park board allowed and created for a church and a school right up the block. So we will be shortly speaking to the park board meeting. We wanted you to jump on and watch as we testify to the park board, and we encourage all of you, if you do, to learn a little bit more about the situation, and then also to help support pushing against the park board's refusal to even allow an agenda item based on the request of the mosque to move forward. It's been now 4 years, and particularly the last 2 years, there has been almost absolutely no response. While all of this is happening, today actually we found out also the park board commissioner, the one who's denying the mosque any opportunity to have a safe drop-off parking, is also allowing and actually doing a similar request for the University of Minnesota. And you will hear how that process is going to be taking place at this meeting. So I encourage all of you to pay attention. We do have a couple of folks from the community that will be speaking briefly here. We'll come right back afterwards and provide a little bit update. For the time being, feel free to watch the video live right now as the Minneapolis Park Board meeting happens, and we will end right at the end of open time when we conclude speaking to the park board.
And any assistance you may be able to provide in reinstating the use of speed bumps would be most appreciated on the 4800 Blackwood Chatwood.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your time. That's all I had.
Appreciate it. Our next speaker is Keith Holliman. Is Keith on the line?
He's one of our guys.
Keith is now in the meeting.
Very good, Keith. You may go ahead and address the board. You have 2 minutes.
Hi, thank you. I'm here today to share my support for a request from the Salaam Mosque, which is located in Northeast Minneapolis. Salaam Mosque has been asking for support from the park board to find a solution for a safe drop-off parking site for the children attending the mosque. In the past 4 years, the Minneapolis Park Board has treated Salaam Mosque staff, community, and children differently than other groups, making a request to the Minneapolis Park Board. The mosque leadership and CARE Minnesota representatives have met with board commissioners and offered multiple options, including, among other things, a land exchange. In the most recent request, the mosque asked for the park board to put this request on the agenda to request a solution that is equivalent to what a church and a school that were offered that are a few blocks from the mosque. The same rationale was provided by these institutions, which resulted in a solution in the 70s, which is equivalent to what is being asked today by Salaam Mosque. This is an issue of inclusion and equality. My question is why can't you offer the same solution for the children of Salaam Mosque that has been offered previously? Is it because of they are a different ethnic group? I hope not. Is it because they're Muslim? I pray that's not the case. My question again is, why would you treat the community differently? Children are starting to come back to the mosque, and the current process for drop-off is dangerous because the mosque is located on Central Avenue. I want to ask you to stop treating this Muslim and Black community differently. This is flat out wrong. And the community will continue to demand a dialogue with the park board to address these needs. And as a member of this community, I am asking that you add them to the next park board meeting and consider doing it now. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith, for your comments. Our next speaker is Drew Adamak. Drew on the line.
Drew is on the line.
Good. Drew, you want to say your name if you're comfortable with your address?
Yeah, so my name is Drew. I live on University of Minnesota campus. And so I just wanted to come on here. I wasn't sure if I was made myself super clear a couple weeks ago, so wanted to try to make it more concise this week. Just wanted to see if you guys, the park board, would be available to have another park police meeting or board meeting and potentially discuss changing or dissolving some statutes that I'd love to get more into. But I was wondering if you guys would be open to that option of just kind of having that first step of having a reconvening of the first police board, and then just kind of reviewing these statutes that are kind of not very common sense. So that's all I wanted to come on here and say today. Thank you again for letting me speak. Look forward to speaking more with you guys in that meeting.
Thank you, Drew, for your comments. Our next speaker is Jelani Hussain. Is Jelani on the line?
Jelani is on the line.
Very good. Jelani, if you'd like to state your name, if you're comfortable, your address for the record, you have 2 minutes to address the board.
Yeah, this is Jelani Hussain, Executive Director of CARE Minnesota, Franklin, Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm also here today, as I've been in the past, advocating for Salaam Mosque, a mosque that has done everything possible to work with your staff to come up with solutions, particularly clearly to offer safe drop-off zones for the children who attend this mosque. And I'm really disappointed. I'm disappointed with the leadership of the park board. I'm disappointed that it has taken out 4 years to demand something very simple, a solution. And I'm also disappointed that today, the same commissioner who has denied us any opportunity is giving a sweetheart deal to almost the same request that we have asked to the University of Minnesota on an easement on the parkway, and doing it behind, not even doing it through the formal process, where he has denied us an opportunity to present this case in front of you. In fact, the reason why Mount Vernon Church and the school up the road did get a public parking for drop-off for their children is the same reason why we're asking for the same request. And unfortunately, we have been denied even the basic rights that we have. And I'm tired of it. We are tired of it. This is the first time we are no longer going to be just having a basic conversation. We will continue to demand justice for this mosque, and religious discrimination is not going to happen here. And to the staff that have worked with us, I really appreciate them. But the leadership of the park board has denied us fundamentally what we have rights to, and we have tried to work with the park, the planners particularly, but also just the park board commissioners. So I'm really disappointed that it got to this point. We protested recently. We will continue to do that until we get justice for Salaam Mosque. Religious discrimination by this park board is not going to happen. Giving favoritism to children who are not Black and children who are Muslim, treating them differently and not seeing their humanity and not seeing their lives matter is not acceptable. And for you to give favoritism to corporations and other businesses is no longer going to be acceptable either. We demand justice, and that is exactly what we've been asking for. I've sent emails and emails and emails to all of you asking to simply to look at the situation. And right now in front of you is a decision that you have to make. So we are demanding that you add an agenda item to the next meeting, specifically requesting that you look forward to a proposal similar to what you have already allowed in the 70s for the church and the school on the same block, simply because those children that go to that church and the children that go to that school should have a safe dropout zone. And in this case, it is a mosque and Black children, and they deserve the same courtesy the previous parts of the church, those families and that community.
Thank you, Mr. Hussein. Our next speaker is Zainab Mohammed. Is Zainab on the line?
Zainab is on the line.
Very good. Zainab, you have 2 minutes to address the board, and you may go ahead.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Zainab Mohammed, and I am here in support of the requests that were made by Salaam Mosque. And I am here to basically share the same concerns that they have in them wanting their concerns to be addressed and wanting a space for children to be dropped off when it comes to the mosque. In the past 4 years, the Minneapolis Park Board has treated the mosque staff, the community, and the children all differently. And I think that's fair and unequitable. And at the very minimum, there needs to be at least conversations amongst community. We know the Park Board has previously addressed this issue with a church in the 70s. And we know that the Council of American Islamic Relations staff, as well as community members, have brought up other options like land exchange. And so I'm here to say that not only am I supportive, but I am demanding for the elected officials in the Park Board to come to their senses in addressing this issue. I hope that this isn't being addressed because they're Black or they're Muslim, and that we treat all of our communities in fairness and with equity, the same way we would have done it if this was a church and white kids were getting dropped off. I know that Commissioner Chris Myers' thing is that he doesn't really like parking spaces for environmental purposes, and I completely support that. We should be taking that seriously, but there needs to be a conversation with the community on other ways we can address this issue to ensure that our kids are safe and that they can have spaces where they can be dropped off and they can go to and practice their faith in a safe and well mannered. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your comments, Zainab. And our next speaker is Mohammed Ibrahim. Is Mohammed on the line?
Yes.
Yes.
Very good. Mohammed, you can go ahead. You have 2 minutes to address the board.
Okay. Thank you so much. This is Mohammed Ibrahim calling as well on behalf of Salaam Mosque. And to be quite honest, I think we all understand and recognize the ability that the Park Board, the Minneapolis Park Board, and Recreation Board has, not only in terms of creating parks, but also thinking about the safety and the livelihood and well-being of children. And today I'm calling on behalf of Salaam Mosque because Salaam Mosque has not had the ability to not only be a part of the agenda, but also been denied the ability to actually protect and make sure that children have a safe space to be dropped off and to participate in their religious or otherwise leisurely activities. And it really disappoints me to hear of the event in the street similar to what Salaam Mosque has been requesting and really asking for the last 4 years. And I am here to demand for the new elected officials to not only allow this conversation to be added to the agenda, but to really consider and to understand that the moment that you are in the lack of action that as a community we are witnessing in regarding giving the ability for children to be dropped off safely. And all of this is being denied, whether it's in the name of emissions or whether it's in the name of having a bike-friendly city. But at the end of the day, I think we all want our children to be dropped off safely, whether they're going to worship, whether they're going to school, or whatever the case is. And we have to ask, and it's unfortunate that we 2021 and we are still asking that, and we know that other churches and worship places around the area have had this ability to get parking lots. And are we asking, is it because of the people's faith? Is it because of the skin color of these kids that they're not getting access to this, or even having the privilege of being discussed? So I ask for all of you to consider this and not only stop this discrimination, but make sure that Salaam Mosque is on the next agenda so we can have a fair shot of actually discussing and bringing a plausible solution for the children and for the district. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed. Our next speaker is Imam Abdimajid. Imam Abdimajid, is the Imam online?
They are not online.
Okay, we'll come back to the Imam. Move on to Amanda Suniti Niscodi Dasset. Is Amanda online?
Amanda is online.
Great, Amanda, if you could mute the live stream in the background there.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Very good. Yes, I can hear you. You have 2 minutes to address the board. You can go ahead.
Hello, my name is Amanda, and I live near Pershing Park. I am referring to the same issues that Claire and Carrie mentioned at the beginning. Since the pandemic began, Pershing Park, particularly the corner of 49th and Challen, has become the site of daily uncivil and criminal behavior. There's a group there between 10 to 20 completely unsupervised young individuals who are taking advantage of the lack of consequences at the basketball court, tennis court, and rest of the park. This includes drug dealing, drug use, harassment, vandalism, theft, fights, very extensive litter, and even yesterday, driving a moped on the park grass, courts, and sidewalks. The problems began once COVID started, the park building closed, and schools went online. Unfortunately, it continues to escalate daily. There are no signs of it receding now that COVID restrictions are lifted. The situation has gone unchecked for far too long, and without immediate active intervention will further devolve. We want people to come to the park and enjoy it in a safe way. Here's what we've already tried. We've used Nextdoor. We've worked with the high schools around here, the park police, the adjacent church. We've tried to talk with individuals. We've partnered with community connections and violence prevention staff, but they can only be there at the moment. They've tried hiring somebody to, quote, engage the youth, but what we really need is someone there to supervise and enforce common good rules and laws. We want the hoops locked at 9. We've worked with the neighborhood association, our city council, tried to activate the corner in a more positive way. And we've connected neighbors. There are many
children in this neighborhood. I'm a grandmother who watches her 4 toddler grandchildren have a school and having a school closer and in the morning would help out. I have lived here for 39 years and all 4 of my children went to Armitage Park preschool program. I hope you will consider bringing the program back to our neighborhood.
Thank you, Judy. Our last write-in comment is from the League of Women Voters.
To the members of the Standards and thank you to our Chair, Chris Meyer, for calling a meeting this evening to discuss rules by which the Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board operates. The League of Women Voters of Minneapolis has noted before for collaboration and coordination. We hope that in the future this agenda item will be included even though we recognize that meetings are often lengthy. Thanks for the opportunity to comment.
Thank you. I'm going to go one more time back to the Imam. Is Imam Dimajad on the line?
They are not.
Okay. In that case, I will close the open time and back now to our report of officers. Commissioner Hassan, did you have your hand raised?
Yes.
Point of order.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, Commissioner.
Yes, I would like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules for the purpose of amending the agenda, including action items directing the president and staff to prepare a resolution outlining the framework for an encouragement permit on St. Anthony Parkway to accommodate the safe access needs of parks visitors, picking up and dropping off park visitors and park amenities, adjustment to the Salaam Mosque located on Central Avenue and St. Anthony Parkway, and have that resolution presented at our
Commissioner Hassan, the motion is out of order.
Second.
The motion. Understood. The motion is out of order.
Point of order. Point of order, Commissioner Coghill.
We're going into reports of officers. The motion is out of order, and that's the ruling.
The chair, Commissioner Hassan, obtained the floor. You gave him the floor. He made a motion, and that motion has received multiple seconds. It requires one.
As you can see, Commissioner Hassan just interrupted and is supporting the Salaam Mosque. Let's pay attention.
Commissioner Bourne, you're also.
I'm appealing rule of the chair that requires a second, and then you have to take a vote on it.
Superintendent Bangora, please go ahead with your report.
Thank you, President Coghill and commissioners.
Wasn't on the agenda. Wasn't on the floor.
Commissioner Hassan, there's not a motion on the floor. The superintendent
to appeal the ruling of the chair.
Commissioner Bourne, there was no motion to do so.
I second Commissioner Bourne.
Commissioner Bourne, you've not been recognized.
You don't need to be recognized to appeal the ruling of a chair on a ruling for out of order. Otherwise, the president is a dictator. I've appealed the ruling of the chair.
Just say for the record that you're not interested in bringing this on the agenda. And that's it.
I have a point of parliamentary inquiry.
Go ahead, Commissioner Musich.
So Commissioner Musich can go
Rice,
ahead with her
can
point of
you
inquiry, but I
please-
can't go ahead with my appealing the ruling of the chair.
Parliamentarian Rice,
Can we just get this in
you
order?
please indicate whether or not we need to take a vote on the appealing the ruling of the chair at this time?
Council Rice, go ahead. Parliamentarian Rice.
Mr. President, Commissioner Musich, this is an unusual situation. I believe that the president's position is that he recognized Commissioner Hassan for one matter, and then Commissioner Hassan made a motion, and the president has ruled in essence that he was out of order, and Commissioner Bourne has now appealed that ruling. I think it would be appropriate to the Commissioner Bourne's motion to challenge the ruling of the chair as in order.
Thank you, Parliamentarian Rice.
Thank you. There's been a second.
This time, that would be great.
There's been a motion and a second to appeal the ruling of the chair, and I will ask the secretary to take the roll.
Commissioner Bourne,
Aye.
Commissioner Musich,
No.
Commissioner Severson.
Aye.
Commissioner Myers.
No.
Commissioner Hassan.
Aye.
Commissioner French.
Aye.
Commissioner Forney.
No.
Vice President Vita.
No.
President Cogill.
No.
You have 4 ayes, 5 nays.
That does not carry. I'd like to ask the superintendent to move forward with his report.
Thank you, President Cogill and commissioners. So ice arenas continue to book ice for the spring for youth hockey programs. The rink has been busy with figure skating programs and is continually updating COVID protocols to ensure a safe environment for staff and participants. And aquatics. Preview weekend, May 29th to 31st, saw cooler weather on Saturday and Sunday, and a nicer day on Monday. Nearly 2,500 people used the guarded pools and beaches over the weekend. Aquatics continues to host lifeguard training sessions and is hoping to hire a few more lifeguards throughout the season. Adult athletics. Adult sports has seen participation numbers continue to grow, and our new grass volleyball leagues have been very popular as an alternative to sand volleyball, which has an extensive waiting list for teams. Registration continues for our new 8-week summer softball season and summer soccer programs. In golf, golf finished May over 23,000 rounds ahead of the 2020 pace. Weather has been good, and the courses have been consistently busy. Patron card sales are up 50% from 2020, and leagues at all courses have filled for the season. Special shout out to golf maintenance staff for outstanding care of our courses. And I've been on tour with Director Humphrey, and the courses are in fantastic shape, and I'm incredibly proud of the staff and the work they have done. Our courses are looking really good, probably the best I've seen in 5 years, I think. Also, Director Humphrey would attest to that. So thank you very much for these wonderful courses that we are stewards of. Youth sports, Citywide Gymnastics Meet. The youth gymnastics season concluded with the Citywide Meet taking place on Saturday, May 22nd at North Star Gym. The girls that competed received flowers and a button for participation. Congratulations to these wonderful young ladies in the gymnastics program. Youth track. We had our first youth track meet of the season on May 20th. There were about 200 youth that participated. Meets are on Thursdays at Roosevelt High School. Red Plus and Inclusion. Inclusion at Longfellow Park offered a fun and successful youth adaptive yoga program led by certified yoga instructor. Youth with disabilities learned various yoga poses and integrated fun games into each week lesson. The program was able to be offered for free through the Walt Dietzig grant funds. It will be offered again this summer starting June 15th at Longfellow Park. The adaptive class is for youth 17 and under. Recreation centers, Wyndham Northeast. This week, Wyndham Park returned to its very popular outdoor adult Zumba program. The program takes place Tuesday evenings and will remain outdoors, weather dependent, throughout the fall. Stewart Park held a Special Olympics hoop group program. Also at Stewart, the kids started growing plants in an arts and crafts house. The plants are doing very well and now ready to be put into the ground. A community member who volunteered with this Youthline program donated material for plants and built them more space. Pearl Park. I think there was a picture of that that's there somewhere. Pearl Park. This is a note recognizing Vance Anderson, who teaches outdoor explorers at Pearl Park. I'll quickly go through this. My son has taken several classes run by Vance and hopes to take more. Vance always presents a cheerful, well-spoken, and as a good listener. My son enjoys him because he does not get frustrated with the kids. He is patient, has endless energy, is fun with good stories, and willing to be flexible and play ideas that the children may have. Just a great guy. At pickup time, I asked my son, how did the class go? Did he have fun? He will groan in reply with a big smile on his face, how tired he is, and then chuckling and says, as he complains, how Vance always goes easy on the younger kids. And then my son will continue on how Vance keeps him and the kids motivated and moving. This sounds like a huge success for a high energy boy. I hope to keep signing my son up for classes run by Vance because he is a good influencer for my boy. Zinda Perkolich. So thank you very much for that. I know it took a little bit of time, but it's always good to recognize the wonderful work that we do at our parks and young people that help and do the work. So thank you. Sibley Park. It was a beautiful day to have the seniors join us for social hour on May 20th. 10 seniors came out, Sibley, picked up and go back to a normal lifestyle. 7 seniors signed up for the take-home lunches, and the seniors were excited to see their friends and to be able to have a conversation in person. Next month, Sibley is planning to have a grill out with all the fixings. Wonderful to see that. Martin Luther King Jr. Park. Even with the cooler weather, youth are able to catch some nice fish at Adamak through the Fish and Bike program. They also had a nice 5-mile ride to the lake. It's fantastic. Mia and NPRB will have a collaboration this summer called Artists in Residence in Minneapolis Parks 2021. The Artists in Residence program will run from June 14th through August 7th, 2021. This collaboration promotes creativity and creative healing space in Minneapolis parks. We are honored and proud to collaborate with such talented local artists as leads of this program. Fall 2021 activities are now available for customers to view online. So of course, visit the website and get registered. Forestry crews are routinely with safety removing very large trees in an urban setting. This work is quite dangerous, especially considering that homes and businesses, etc., are usually of removal. A dead cottonwood tree at Pioneers and Soldiers Memorial proved particularly challenging due to proximity of nearby heads and the deteriorating conditions of the tree. The forestry crew discussed how to best proceed with removal. The tree was removed and everything went smoothly as planned. Thank you to all of our forestry crews for their hard work.
I want to thank you all for joining us and taking part. I know you all just heard a motion there by Commissioner Bradbourne and Commissioner A.K. Hassan to put this issue forward this is clear discrimination. And you saw clearly that 5 of the Minneapolis board commissioners refused to put this issue forward, to even put it on the agenda. This is what we have been fighting for this entire time. So you see clear discrimination, you see favoritism, you see that how corporations and state agencies are treated differently. And so we do have allies inside the Minneapolis Park Board. I appreciate the commissioners who voted to suspend the rules and to add this issue to the agenda, to add it to the agenda, just like this decision was made before. And unfortunately, as you saw clearly, they not only were flustered, but they do not want to do that. And so we will take the necessary steps, but we need everybody to respond to this. If you're a resident of the city of Minneapolis, this is a shame on our city that the most celebrated park board is not for people of color, it's not for Muslims. And we know historically the Minneapolis Park Board has given sweetheart deals to schools and others to give away even land or do land swaps for schools, even on the Mississippi banks. So the reality is the location we're talking about is a house. The previous location, I think, used to be a house there. They don't have a long-term value of the location. They want to put an art piece there. And so I want to also recognize that the staff of the park board has been really helpful. They have been very helpful. So this is really the decision makers, the politicians who say they care about Black lives, who say they care about Muslim lives, but really clearly do not. And so we're not letting up, and we're not going to give up either. So we're not letting up or giving up. We're going to continue to do this at every single park board meeting. We're encouraging people to show up next week at the park boarding meeting is happening. We need everyone to show up and also speak. We're also going to put out an action alert, so they have to read your comments as part of the park board meeting and hear from all of you. It is time for us to stand up for this mosque. The children are planning to come back later this summer, and for these children, they should have a safe drop-off zone, just like the church up the block and a school up the block. It's just clear discrimination. You know, it doesn't go any better than that. I mean, it's just blatant clear discrimination. You know, the fact that they don't even want to make a decision on this, they don't want to put it on the agenda, should tell you exactly why and what type of leadership we are dealing with. So I'm ashamed to be really in this city when I see things like this, clear discrimination against Muslims, Black Muslims, particularly Black Muslim children. We all need to let them hear from us, especially those 5 commissioners who today refused to even put this item on the agenda. This is what we have been dealing with, and I'm glad now the mosque leadership has given us the access and opportunity to make it public and to go after them, because we've tried everything. We have tried the nice way, we have tried the Minnesota way, I don't know, we've tried every option to work with them. None of those work. The 5 board members have refused to acknowledge the children in that mosque. They have refused to acknowledge their historical pattern of allowing safe drop-off zones for children up the road. Predominantly, you know, children who are obviously not going to this mosque. So I want to make sure that all of you know about this. You saw the fireworks. I appreciate, again, the park board commissioners that stood up for these families, stood up for these children. We are not going to give up. We are not going to give up, and we're not going to let up either. As my brother says, King Demetrius, you know, we're going to continue to fight and demand justice. We'll also put out a video, a short explanation and the history of this case. But all of you should share this video with others. This is unacceptable behavior, and it's happening right in your neck of your wood here in Minneapolis. Thank you all. We'll hopefully update you a little bit later. Thank you for joining us today and seeing clearly how the city of Minneapolis, particularly the Minneapolis Park Board, discriminate against Muslims in this city.